Hello, I'm John White.
And I'm Karen Devine, tonight live at 5.
I'm Jake Ingracia. A school in Thermal locked down for hours today. I'll have up-to-the-minute details on a search for a man with a gun.
Plus, construction on Interstate 10 causing recent traffic problems. How Caltrans is responding.
And the 26th annual KESQ News Channel 3 Desert Sampler is underway as we take a live picture, see everything the sampler has to offer this year while supporting Valley schools.
You're watching KESQ, the Desert's news leader. This is News Channel 3, live at 5.
A story we first brought you breaking live at noon now. An elementary school in Thermal on lockdown today. Police getting reports of an armed man in the area. News Channel 3's Jake Ingracia has been on scene in Thermal since this situation broke out earlier today. Jake, what is new now?
Karen, that's right. This is the SUV. Officials say that armed man left on the side of the road running into that field near John Kelly Elementary School. And that lockdown has been lifted now and the search called off. But for hours today, hundreds of kids were barricaded in their classrooms. And tonight, that man is still on the loose. A police chopper overhead as authorities search for an armed man near John Kelly Elementary School. Police receiving calls of a man with a gun in the area.
In the prudence of safety and caution, we made a determination to lock down not only John Kelly Elementary School, but also the district offices and the transportation division.
Authorities rushing to the scene, deputies and SWAT teams gearing up for an intense manhunt, armed with assault rifles and bloodhounds searching for any clues that could lead to him. That armed man abandoning his car up the street from the Thermal Sheriff's Station, then taking off running. Officials using all available resources to find him. Meanwhile, more than 700 students locked down inside the school.
They are locked down in the classrooms. No one is allowed to leave. No one is allowed to enter. The windows have been covered. Doors have been locked. In some instances, some of the rooms the doors have been barricaded.
Some of the students inside with special needs.
Parents are very concerned, as are we. So we are taking steps to ensure that those students are receiving their medication and nutritional needs.
And other schools in the district impacted as well.
This is going to cause a ripple effect. As you know, in the school system, everything is based on a time schedule and everything has to happen at a particular time. So this has interrupted that process.
A situation officials say they're prepared for.
It's a stressful situation. However, they've been trained and they know what to expect and know what's going to take place.
We're told about 100 kids are still inside that school for a scheduled after-school program, and their parents have been contacted to come pick them up. But tonight, police say there is no threat to public safety. Reporting live in Thermal, Jake Ingracia, News Channel 3.
Yeah, thank you, Jake. We're learning more tonight about another robbery at gunpoint by a masked man in Palm Springs. Employees at Castaneda say this man robbed their restaurant a little over 2 weeks ago. They say the man directed an employee to the register and demanded all of the cash. They reached out to us after noticing similarities between this holdup and other armed robberies we have been reporting on at shops and restaurants all over the valley. Authorities say reporting every possible detail in these cases is essential.
Stay calm, do as that you're told, pay attention to details with the individual. We are going to ask for things like, did they sound a certain way? Could you make out the race of the individual? How about any clothing? Did they say anything specific to you or in a certain way? These are high profile cases. These are people that need to be brought to justice.
Castaneda's is open 24 hours, 7 days a week. Management is considering employing a security guard to keep late-night employees safe. Authorities also say employers should talk with their employees and have a plan in place for an event like this. If you have any information about this case, call Valley Crime Stoppers at 760-341-STOP. Tips can remain anonymous, and you may be eligible for a cash reward.
Police are investigating a car that went into a store in Rancho Mirage. It happened at 2 this afternoon on the 71,600 block of Highway 111. The car went through the window of a consignment store. Sheriff's deputies say no injuries were reported.
We're having beautiful weather for an outdoor fundraiser tonight to benefit local schools. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Haley Clausen's tracking air conditions live tonight from the river in Rancho Mirage, site of the 26th News Channel 3 Desert Sampler. Haley, looks like a great crowd out there tonight.
It really has, and it has just begun. I mean, people were already beginning to line up before the 5 o'clock hour, and the lines are already beginning to form. So if you don't have dinner plans yet, you know this is the place to be. And temperatures, yes, they're going to be on the warm side, but honestly, it feels fantastic. Our sunset tonight is at 6:03, and we know once that sun goes down, it feels wonderful out here. Clear skies will be with us all throughout the rest of this Tuesday evening. Check out those temperatures down in the low 80s by 9 o'clock. Now, the Desert Sampler does go through from 5 to 7 for tonight, but of course you can come hang out. There's going to be music playing in just a few minutes. Going to be a lot to do, so bring the whole family out, come hang out, come say hi. And yeah, the temperatures, they're staying warm, but we're only heating up. I'll explain coming up in my complete first alert forecast.
Thank you, Haley. Caltrans making some changes to make it easier for morning commuters to get to work. It comes after issues with traffic and collisions last week with a repavement project on Interstate 10 in Indio. News Channel 3's Jeremy Chen has more on what Caltrans is doing and what drivers think about the change.
The sight of traffic has become a lot more common on the 10 freeway in the East Valley over the past week.
Those that have to maneuver around the valley in the mornings and then in the evenings, it is a challenge. I've always found it a challenge in the valley.
A challenge made tougher as Caltrans works on repaving the I-10 in the East Valley. It caused traffic issues last week, with minor collisions making it worse along the freeway.
There's very little detour routes up here in this area, and so whenever there are accidents, we try to get them cleared as quickly as possible.
As a result, Caltrans is changing its working hours on this construction by doing the repavement from 3 p.m. to 4 a.m. instead of during the early morning rush hour. Work is expected to be completed on the eastbound 10 freeway by mid-November at the latest, with work on the westbound lanes continuing until the end of the year.
There might be some impacts to the evening commute, but not as bad as the morning commute. The traffic counts tend to be a little higher in the morning.
This driver says the change would bring an easier morning routine.
It gives me time to be able to, get things done and be able to get on time to work and not be rushing through.
Another driver says he has no worries about the evening commute now being impacted.
I'm okay with it. We went through the Jefferson overpass. That took, 2 years, something like that. That was kind of a thing. It's just growth and just how it goes.
As far as advice on any potential traffic?
Leave a little early, find an alternate route, and just plan on it, and don't get mad out there. Just stay calm and get to work.
Jeremy Chen, News Channel 3, Indio.
Caltrans says the $17 million project will also cover Highway 111 and Highway 86. It's funded through revenue from the state gas tax. Well, today marks the 2-year anniversary of a deadly bus crash out on Interstate 10. A bus traveling back to Los Angeles slammed into the back of a big rig driven by 51-year-old Bruce Guilford. 13 people were killed. Guilford is accused of falsifying records and being sleep deprived, which led to him falling asleep at the wheel. He faces up to 35 years in prison if he's convicted on all charges against him. His defense team says he has no criminal history and served in the National Guard and U.S. Army Reserves for 20 years. He's due back in court on February 21st.
A hiker is recovering in the hospital tonight after needing rescue from a local hiking trail. Firefighters were called to the Mike Schuler Trail near Painter's Path in Rancho Mirage just before 11 this morning. The hiker had complaints of an injury to the lower half. The hiker was lifted off the mountain and taken to the hospital with moderate injuries.
Just a few hours left now to get your chance of becoming a billionaire. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot now stands at least $1.6 billion after there was no winner on Friday. It's now the largest jackpot drawing in U.S. lottery history. No one has won the Mega Millions jackpot since July 24th. Tonight's drawing will take place at 8 tonight. The odds of winning the jackpot, 1 in 302 million. But someone's got to win it eventually. Good luck, and look for those winning numbers right here at 11 and also online shortly after the drawing at KESQ.com.
And if you win, let us know. We'd love to talk to you.
Yeah.
Take you out to lunch. Well, the 26th annual KESQ Desert Sampler taking place right now in Rancho Mirage.
Next on News Channel 3, see how this event supports local schools as we take a live look at the sampler at the river.
Plus, a caravan of migrants are continuing to travel north towards the U.S.-Mexico border. What President Trump is saying today about needing to stop the caravan.
And a local baseball coach talking about the Dodgers in the World Series. What former Major Leaguer Coco Crisp has to say about this year's World Series matchup. You're watching KESQ. the Desert's news leader.
The 26th News Channel 3 Desert Sampler underway right now at the river in Rancho Mirage. Chief Meteorologist Haley Clausen live there with more on tonight's event. Haley, looks like a lot of people showing up already.
Already, and this has just started. It is 5:10 right now, so we're 10 minutes into this event. We still have more than an hour to go, and yeah, everyone is just beginning to arrive. So what you're seeing now is nothing compared to what it's about to be. So if you're looking for something to do on this Tuesday evening, this is where you have to be. Now, I do want to introduce you to someone. This is Desiree with Renova Energy. Desiree, this is your first year coming out here, correct?
Yes, very first year.
Okay, so what are you expecting tonight? What would you like to see out here?
A lot of visitors. That way everything benefits the schools, everything benefits our kids in the desert. It's a great event. You should come out, try some food, look at solar. It's perfect.
There you go. There are plenty to do. She said try some food. It's not just one option or two options. Let's pan around a little bit. Right behind here, we have Coachella Valley Water District. So there's your water. You get a water bottle. Fantastic. You're quenched. Now you come over here. There's Papa Dan's right over here. So yeah, you need some Italian food in your life. And then you keep on going down the line. There's Pepsi. And then you see plenty of other booths all the way going down to Babes, all the way at the other end of the river. So there are tons of restaurants out here. So if you are looking for some dinner, tickets are $10 and you're supporting local schools. All of the proceeds will go right here, staying in the community. And over the past more than 25 years, more than $2.5 million has been raised, and it's all thanks to you. So John, Karen, maybe I'll bring you some food back in a little bit.
I doubt there'll be anything left there. It goes pretty fast. Thank you, Haley.
Good stuff out there. Your Vote 2018 tonight at 6. We are going in depth on one of our local races in a News Channel 3 I-Team investigation. Fact Check will break down the ads in the 28th District State Senate race. The incumbent Republican Jeff Stone being challenged by Democrat Joyce Silver, and both campaigns are running negative ads about the opponent. I sit down with both of them and sort through some of the evidence backing up their claims. That's Fact Check coming up tonight at 6 on News Channel 3.
Well, the largest ever recorded caravan of migrants from Central America has grown to an estimated 7,200 people or more traveling through southern Mexico. President Trump claims the caravan includes MS-13 gang members and Middle Eastern terrorists, but he gave no evidence. He insisted the migrants will not be allowed into the United States.
You also see what's coming up. We have a lot of people coming up. We can't let that happen. We either have a border or we don't.
President Trump is blaming Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador for not stopping people from leaving their countries, and says the U.S. will begin cutting off foreign aid to those countries.
The Dodgers are back in the World Series a second straight year.
A lot of excited fans. Next on News Channel 3, local high school baseball coach and former Major Leaguer Coco Crisp weighs in on this year's matchup between the Dodgers and the Boston Red Sox.
It was warm today. Palm Springs coming in with a high of 93 degrees. Look at this. We're only going to be heating up as the week continues. I will break down your complete first alert forecast right after the break. Here's some Jimmy Buffett to play you to the break. We're watching KESQ, the Desert's news leader.
Game 1 of the World Series just now getting underway with the Dodgers once again playing in the Fall Classic for the second year in a row. News Channel 3's Kai Beach joins us live in studio after talking with a former player who was in the series just a couple of years ago. Kai.
That's right, John. I went to Shadow Hills High School today, and there's a lot of Dodgers fans there, but the head of their baseball program is Coco Crisp. This guy, he's a former Boston Red Sox player who won a World Series with the title with them a couple years ago. Now, Crisp is from L.A. He grew up a Dodgers fan. And today he put emotion aside and told us who he's picking to win the World Series and why.
Report to the front office. At Shadow Hills High School, Dodgers fever has reached a boiling point.
They're going to take a big fat W.
With LA playing in the World Series, students here have traded in their school colors of purple and black for Dodgers blue.
I got Vans shoes, I've got pants, I've got earrings.
Freshman Natalie Hamilton is proudly sporting her Dodgers gear and believes the boys in blue are going to beat the Boston Red Sox for the world title.
Dodgers can come in, and Red Sox fans, they can just be quiet about it.
But at the night's baseball field, we're getting an expert's prediction.
I think building chemistry is something that is sometimes overlooked.
Coco Crisp. Yes, this Coco Crisp. The former big leaguer and World Series champion is now leading the night's baseball program And today we went to the dugout for a one-on-one interview with the retired shortstop.
During the playoff times, it's a lot different than the regular season. Whether it's coaches using their bullpen differently than they would during the season.
Crisp is originally from LA and grew up a Dodgers fan.
Three-run home run!
But he played for Boston and won a World Series with them. And when it comes to winning, Crisp is picking Boston.
I believe the Red Sox are going to win. Their offense is very potent. Their starting rotation is really good. I think the one thing
The next from Kershaw.
that the bullpen just has to stay sharp.
But don't tell that to these students who bleed Dodger blue.
I'm ready. I'm ready to be at the gym, watching it on the big screen. Hopefully Kershaw can come in clutch today.
And Game 1 of the World Series is happening right now. We'll have all the highlights and coverage on air and online. For now, live in the studio, I'm Kai Beach, News Channel 3.
Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Haley Clausen.
All right, I'm out here at the river at Rancho Mirage. I know you can hear the music. We have some Steve Miller Band going on behind. It's fantastic. Temperatures are still a little warm though. Of course, once the sun sets, we know it's going to be fantastic out here. But speaking of it being a little warm, today Palm Springs came in with a high temperature of 93 degrees and we're only going to be heating up as this week continues. This is why. High pressure continuing to build over the course of this week, and that's actually going to be shifting our winds. Well, our winds are going to be playing a role in our temperatures warming up and also us getting even drier than what we have been experiencing. So looking back over the past few days, we know about the 90s. We've been hanging in the 90s, above a seasonal norm, which is 87 for this time of year. But again, today, 93 degrees. Our morning's still fantastic, nice and mild in the 60s. But yeah, we're feeling the heat more like late summer than we should be in the fall. Right now in Palm Springs, it is 90 degrees. Humidity just a mere 19%. That's fantastic. Our winds just 5 miles per hour. That's even better. We like these conditions. It's warm. It's not very fall-like, right? All right, here are the temperatures across the Coachella Valley. We have the 90s. We even have an 87 for Desert Hot Springs as well as Palm Desert. We're going to be staying nice and warm throughout this entire evening. But it's going to be great, again, once that sun sets, which is at 6:03 this evening. Here's a view from our Toro Peak Skycam, seeing the lack of clouds overhead, a big difference from this morning when we had those clouds pass by. Now looking at our satellite, you can see those clouds as they move from the west towards the east. The reason we're experiencing them is all thanks to a trough of low pressure. It's going to move also from west to east across California. It's that U-shaped feature there in the yellows. Well, then high pressure builds in, and that means it is our time to heat up and it is our time to dry out. Dew point temperatures will be dropping down into the 30s. We like that number below 50. Yeah, it's going to be dry later on this week as we even head into the weekend. Those numbers continuing to heat up. So if you like it warm, fantastic. Tomorrow going to be just like today. Get ready for a cloudy start and then clearing throughout the rest of the afternoon. Winds nice and light out of the northeast. And those highs finding themselves in the 90s right here in the Coachella Valley. Look at Friday, Saturday, the hottest days of this week. Yeah, it's going to be warm, but next week we'll begin that cool down. Don't forget, there's a full moon for tomorrow night.
Hey, can't argue with those numbers right there. That looks really good, and so does the turnout at Desert Sampler.
Sure does. Beautiful. Well, local event telling seniors about resources available to them.
Next on News Channel 3, what organizers say about the reason behind today's event. You're watching KESQ, the Desert's news leader.
The Commission is teaming up with the Mizell Senior Center. The center held a Senior Resource Day to discuss resources that are available, including healthcare and senior living options that they might not know about.
The majority of our Coachella Valley has a large population of seniors, and there are so many programs out there for these seniors to utilize that will make their lives easier to live, more productive, reduce isolation, get them out, meeting with different people and utilizing the services that are available.
The Palm Springs Human Rights Commission also used the event to gather information on what key issues are impacting seniors in the community.
Some creative students are learning how to pursue careers in the arts. Meet the Creatives connected 130 juniors and seniors from 5 local high schools with people working locally in the arts at UC Riverside's Palm Desert campus. Organizers of today's event say the students are part of a regional strategy to develop our own next generation workforce.
The goal of the team that's putting this together, it's the One Future Arts Media Entertainment Industry Council, is to make sure students know that the skills and the gifts and the talents that they have right now are of tremendous value to us here in the Valley, and that we really, really hope they will pursue their passions and come back and build their careers and their lives here in the Coachella Valley.
And News Channel 3's Jeff Stahl spoke to the students about careers in the media. Organizers say about 6,000 students are preparing for both college and career through pathways and academies in local high schools.
Joshua Tree National Park resuming its Roadrunner shuttle service starting Friday. Park officials say the bus will depart from the Oasis Visitor Center every hour between 8 and 5, making several stops throughout the park. The shuttle will operate on Friday, Saturday, and Sundays and holidays during the fall months. The free shuttle will then extend to 7 days a week in March, which is peak season. That's a good way to see Joshua Tree National Park without getting out and actually having to walk around.
Well, it's a nice way to get around. Look at those beautiful sights. Wow.
Great scenery.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
That's your favorite place now, right?
It's one of my favorite places, absolutely. But seeing it by shuttle might be a good way to go.
There you go.
All right. Thank you for making News Channel 3 your choice for news. Stay tuned for ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir.
We'll see you right back here in a half hour at 6. And whenever news breaks on the air and online, KESQ.com. Have a great night.